What if your failure wasn't a loss, but just research in progress?
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
Hey everyone, how are you today? And so, one thing that I learned in my business classes, that all of us at some point in time have a crucial or come across a crucial moment that that can help us grow in any and all situations. And a lot of us need to look at this as a moment to refine, as I stated in another show, who we really are and what's really going on, especially as an organization, as a nonprofit, a religious organization, an entrepreneur, a Fortune 500, like any type of entity that you are, even an individual. This is one part where we learn about who we are and what's going on. And ultimately, when we talk about building our brand, that's very important, because in branding is not about what you say about yourself. Branding is about what others say you are. And so ultimately, that is the idea of the feedback loop that you need to have in order for you to grow. And so you may venture out with an objective, with a goal. My mission and vision statement, I think, is clear. And this project that I'm doing right now, I believe it hits on that mission statement. So I go out there and I do this project, and I'm talking to people and whatever else, and people start to tell you, you know what, I thought you did this. So why are you doing that? And unfortunately, we can look at that as a failure of, hey, we're not reaching our goal, our desired goals, our desired measurables, and our deliverables aren't what we thought they were. And we need to almost reinvent the wheel. That's what it could feel like. And sometimes in that, because you work so hard on this project or whatever it might be for a long period of time, you're thinking, hey, I'm a failure. I don't measure up. I'm missing the mark, or whatever it is. But I really want you to think of it like this, right? That you should treat failure like your feedback. Like I just said, the feedback loop, right? Because that failure is talking to you, is explaining to you something that you may have missed, that you might have misconceptualized or drawn up or verbalized, whatever it is. Like there might be a little quick misstep. It might be a situation where you're thinking that it says one thing, but someone's interpretation says another. So you might have to change your wording here and there. Whatever the situation is, treat failure like it's the feedback loop. And then understand that every single time you do this, what appears to be failure, and just coming back and speaking back to you about what's going on, because each misstep, it teaches you how to walk more confidently the next time around. So if you are looking at your misfooting in this situation, you're going to look for that step and maybe the next step afterwards. And now you're going to step on that step more confidently moving forward. Next time you do this event, you understand that, hey, my mission statement does, meet this goal, meet this standard. This event does that. It speaks to that. So now it's no longer a failure. It is the perception of someone else. I understand where the situation or where it might have fallen on deaf ears or whatever it is. And now I've corrected it. Now, next time someone comes up to me and says something about it, I have something to stand on, a leg to stand on to say, here's who I am. This is what's going on. These are my next steps. And we're going to move this thing forward. And guess what? It's not a failure. So as I stated to you in another episode, that all it is a lesson. So if you look at failure from a feedback perspective, i.e. research, because you're researching firsthand what works and what doesn't work. But think of it in that term where it does not feel, again, so personal. And it doesn't feel as though like you're missing too many steps or too many situations. Because this is your step in your growth, your maturation process, your photosynthesis process. Like, these are those moments where you're growing. You're growing. And I hope that you see that. I hope that you feel that. And keep in mind this idea or this phrase that winners don't avoid mistakes. I hear a lot about, sports play, people, how certain basketball players, how many jump shots they might have taken at the buzzer and might have missed. If you take a look at American football, how many times people might have thrown the ball and missed the game-winning touchdown, or those who play soccer, aka football, and they're trying to kick the ball from like what feels like 1,517 yards away. That's what it looks like sometimes, and sometimes how long is in the air. And our reality, that goal, that net is so far away. It almost looks like, is an anthill. But all of us are trying our best. And so winners don't avoid mistakes. They don't avoid missing the opportunity, the situation. They take that moment. They analyze the situation, and then they adjust appropriately. So in that situation, i.e. basketball, when someone goes up to shoot a jump shot, now you understand that if someone's coming to me from this angle, I need to do this. If someone comes from me from that angle, I need to do that. If I am all by myself, which is one of the hardest shots to do, because I feel like you're under more pressure, more scrutiny, more eyes on you, more people are holding their breath, and you shoot it and you miss it. Now you need to understand, like, hey, maybe I need to take a moment in time and take a deep breath. Maybe I need to act like I'm on the beach and playing around with my children. Maybe I need to understand that in these situations, it's just another day in the park. So all it is research on how you're going to take this information, adjust it, so that way next go round, you're on point. No problems, no doubts, no concerns. You are now confidently walking to your next place. I hope that you can take the situation, analyze it, and adjust. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?